I'm Allison Jonjak, the Cranberry Outreach Specialist with the University of Wisconsin-Madison Division of Extension. These videos are the on-demand recordings of UW Extension and the Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association's virtual brown bag lunch series. These monthly sessions offer growers and researchers a way to share timely and relevant information. We hope you'll enjoy and continue to engage with us.
Hi, I'm Tom Lochner, the Executive Director of the Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association. We're excited to be a partner with Extension to bring you research-backed resources, tools, and tips to keep Wisconsin marshes productive and profitable.
Thank you. Welcome to the June edition of our virtual Cranberry Brown Bag. We're going to get to go through a little bit of time-sensitive and on-the-spot information, both from researchers as well as from some of our product suppliers, research and scientists in the field. You have closed captions down on the screen below you, and if you're not seeing those, you should be able to hit the little ... ellipsis to say show more and show captions. I think that's it for the housekeeping, apart from have yourself on mute unless you want to ask a question. We do encourage people to ask questions throughout, and you can either use the chat if you want to ask a question publicly, or you can chat and use the little drop down to Allison Jonjak, and then I will ask your question on your behalf anonymously. The other thing you can do is unmute yourself and ask directly. And I think with that, usually I would hand the controls over to Tom for a minute. Tom Lochner of the Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association. He is on the road serving growers today, and as you can kind of see, we're all kind of on the road today. But Tom wanted to thank people who made it to the golf outing fundraiser that was on Wednesday. And, we've got a good lineup today. Dave Jones, the senior agricultural scientist at Ocean Spray at the Babcock station, is going to be giving us some in-season observations. Then Christelle Godot, whose E apparently accidentally turned into a Polish E instead of a French E. I apologize for that, Christelle. But still, Christelle Godot and Olivia Lake will be talking about, from Christelle's behalf, the current nematode research project that's going on, and then from Olivia, information on the nematodes that are available from Koppert. And then in between those two, I'm going to have a quick review of new information in the chemistry world as we're having product availability, new updates, and then just a reminder to go ahead and ask questions all along and as we go. Thank you.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Christelle, Dave, and Allison. It's great to share all the wonderful nematode information. Fantastic. Okay, so my name is Olivia Lake. I am the technical consultant with Koppert. I specialize in IPM and pollination. Some of you I may have met with the bumblebees. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My phone number and email are going to be on this slide and my last slide. But we'll jump into it with the nematodes. So the main part of the presentation is going to be about Capsanem, which is a Steinernema carpocapcae, which Christelle and David have both been working on in their trials. This is a natural enemy and an entopathogenic nematode. It does have biological control of various pests and insects. We are still doing research with the flea beetles, but cranberry girdler, some caterpillars, mostly beetle larvae, fly larvae, and some mole crickets, to name a few. There are so many insects in the soil, so we're still in constant research and searching for what Capsanem does control. And it is effective at a wide temperature range. Some of our other nematode products as well can go to lower temperatures for control too. Many methods of application available, which I'll touch on that in a later slide. And this is compatible with some chemistries. So if you are interested and especially looking to apply with certain chemistries, feel free to reach out to me so I can check in with you on that. And one thing about all nematodes is that they do need to be stored in a dark ventilated refrigerator or cold room till use. And great thing about Capsanem, it is OMRI listed. So if you do have an organic marsh and you want to do some natural enemy control, Capsanem would be great. So Christelle touched on this as well. So how Capsanem works, the nematodes will enter the pest through a body opening or the cuticle and into the pest cavity. Then the bacteria will convert the host tissue into a food source, and the nematodes will feed, develop, and reproduce inside the host. And then the process of killing the host will happen in a few hours to a few days. I know it is a kind of a wide range of time, but it just depends on the environment as well and how quickly your nematode species works. So I'll touch on a few application methods. A sprayer drench is recommended. There are many ways to apply these nematodes. You can do as simple as mix it into a watering can, air blast sprayers, booms, backpack sprayers, vehicle mounted spray, or dosatron. We are in the process of trialing with some chemigation applications, and we've seen a lot of success with the boom applications as well. Most growers do not have to remove their filters in their booms because no one is typically using very small mesh filters in outdoor agriculture. And there's a little pre-application prep with these nematodes, so they must be at room temperature before mixing. So keep that in mind. About 30 minutes before you're planning to mix, we usually recommend to set them out from the cold storage. So some product handling, we're experimenting with a few different rates. Typically, we've seen these rates applied anywhere from 250,000 to 500,000 nematodes per meter square of soil applications. But for flea beetles, we are suggesting a rate of 1.5 billion nematodes per acre per application. Like I said, we are seeing good results, but we're hoping that at the end of these trials, we'll have some solid information to share. The timing, it does depend on your target crop and your target pest, crop, and environment. So it's really crucial to hit these pests in the stages that are going to impact it the most. So consult with your scout or your Koppert rep, myself, on which pests you're targeting and when to start your timing. But for cranberries, it's best to apply these nematodes in the evening or early morning. They are very UV sensitive, so try to avoid any applications while the sun is out. They do have a storage shelf life of 2 to 3 months, and they need to be refrigerated and average about 35 to 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Just some product specifications for the sizes we do sell these in. So we sell them in 3 different sizes. So for all different farm sizes. So anywhere from 50 million, which would be 2 sachets, so 2 packages of 25 million per box, 500 million and 2,500 million. So it is nice that you have different pouches inside the box so you can split your applications up when needed and kind of tailor it to the sizes of your bogs. And these nematodes that you will receive are going to be in the infective 3rd stage. So they are ready to go, ready to search for your problem pests. And in the box, you will be receiving 86% of the Steinernema carpocapcae nematode and 14% of the biodegradable carrier. And that's all I have on the Capsanem for you guys. Any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help or get you some information on our nematode products.
We've been really excited to hear the work going on the research trials again. And if anyone has any questions, go ahead and type them in or speak out loud. Thank you so much, Olivia, for presenting. I have one quick question, which is they arrive to you as infective juveniles, which is the 3rd stage of larvae. Are they, and when you have the 2 to 3 month shelf stable, does that mean after 2 to 3 months they're graduating from infective juvenile to the next juvenile stage or the adult stage, or does that mean that after 2 to 3 months they needed to have food before then?
So after 2 to 3 months, they do need some food source. So they won't continue to progress in their life cycle until then. The sooner you get the nematodes and the sooner you use them, the better.
Okay, awesome. We still have 5 minutes left in the hour, so I want to encourage people to ask questions. I want to thank Dave. I want to thank Christelle. I want to thank Olivia. I want to thank the Cranberry Growers Association for co-hosting these with me at Extension. But at least one person should ask a question other than me today. I feel like I've had a question on every presentation, and everybody else must be listening from the cab, I guess. I guess failing that, Tom reminded me to wish everyone a happy Father's Day for this upcoming weekend. And if there are no other questions, I want to thank all three of you. Hope that we will get some rain soon, and hope that when it comes, it'll be a nice gentle rain rather than a torrent. And Simon from Quebec says that he's grateful for the extra explanation that Dave gave on the dew point frost.
I have a quick question, Allison.
Okay.
If obviously you don't want to be applying nematodes, apply insecticides over or apply shortly after, kind of what is there a recommended time frame that you would want to hold off on spraying following a nematode application, or how long you should wait following an insecticide application, or has that not really been looked at yet?
I would say that's probably not been really looked at yet, Fawn. That's a great question. I would think that once you have the nematodes that have really entered the soil and you wait, and maybe Olivia will have some more information, but that they're in the soil, that it's going to be, no matter what, even if they have an impact from anything insecticide draining down there and kind of drenching into the soil by rain, that might be affecting them somewhat, but I would think, like, if you wait a couple days, you should be okay and not have too much of an effect on the nematodes once they're in the soil with the foliar sprays that we're doing. Of course, if you were to do a drenching, that would be different. But we also, I don't know, I haven't looked if there's any research that look at specific compounds on specific species of nematodes or nematodes in general. It's just that you want to be, mindful of that and careful. But yeah, I think give a buffer of a couple days on either end would be probably what you want to be at a minimum.
Okay.
And then
Thank you.
hopefully eventually we'll get direct information about which, do compounds with systemic, how long will they last will be probably compound dependent. Olivia, do you have something to add to that as well? And thanks, Christelle.
I don't know, Christelle hit that on the head, the nail on the head pretty well with that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I had a question for Olivia, and she was happy to answer that, so I'll ask it now. Do you have a price point for people on the Capsanem per acre for the nematodes?
Yes. So right now, it's going to be roughly $80 per acre per application.
Okay, so that's pretty competitive with some of the higher end insecticides. And I think that's good to know, because I think that's always something we've said in the past, that they are very expensive. And so people need to consider that when they're trying to replace, for example, an insecticide with the nematodes. But as we are losing our technologies and our chemistries, I mean, it's going to be important to have a price point that's accessible for growers. So that's great.
I will chime in too there that a big part of this is also, dialing in what rate works, because although we do have kind of the default rate that Olivia shared, we are still, in plot work on our end, and others are still really doing work to try to figure out what is the optimal rate. And I would say that although we have some preliminary work showing that there is a rate dependent relationship with control with this product, it's still far from being complete. So I do think that it's possible to suggest that the price point could vary or potentially be lower if we can find ways to optimize lower concentrations, but to be determined.
And
that's
another
a very good point.
That as I do a lot of work on timing studies as well, have we got a bead on the ideal timings, or is that something also that we're trying it right now and we're getting results, but over time we might be able to dial in timing more appropriately for egg hatch to get more efficient use as well?
Yeah, so that's the future. Right now, we're doing this study where we're looking at the different species. Once we have the optimal species, we will be looking at the rate, the number of application, and the timing of those applications. So right now, the recommendation, and that's what we're doing with the large field trial, and even with the other trial, the cage trial, is splitting the same load in multiple applications is what is recommended for having maximum window, like a larger window and maximum efficacy on those. But that's work we plan to do in the future for sure.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's so many moving parts that get dialed in.
Yeah.
It's plenty to keep us busy. Any other questions, either in the chat or elsewhere? I just want to thank our presenters again, and wish everyone a productive rest of the Friday afternoon, a productive and pleasant blossom season.
Thank you.